Welcome to another episode of the Think Tank podcast. I have the lovely Karen Clark, who is the founder of Clarkashian and Coaching in both New Zealand and Australia, and is the creator of the quantumleap TV. Karen Clark is a tenured entrepreneur with over 30 years experience in the game, and she has started and successfully grown businesses in industries as varied as the automotive, forex, property, and cosmetics. Along the way, she's actually learned from world-class entrepreneurs, and these people, such as the likes of Roger Hamilton and Paul Dunn, as well as Mary Morrissey, founder and master coach at Brave Thinking Institute. She's also had gleaned and puts into practice the teachings of Wayne Dyer, Proctor, and the Dalai Lama, just to name a few. Karen's unwavering belief to be able to help her clients reach their potential and have the capabilities so they know and be supported to unfold their vision and grow it into realization. In this episode today, we'll be discussing how to actually quantum leap your vision in achieving what you want and knowing how to chart your course of direction. So I'll bring Karen on and welcome to the show.
Hi everyone. Hi Maria, thanks so much for inviting me. I'm really privileged to be on here with you. And I love talking about this subject. It's one of my passions.
Yeah, I'm so excited and thrilled to have you on the show because I'm always curious about this particular topic as well. And to be able to hear it from such an expert would be amazing, I think.
Yeah. So,
can you tell me a little bit more about yourself if I haven't already covered anything?
For sure. Yeah. So I can tell you like a lot about myself if you want me. It depends how much time we've got, but I'll start at where I grew up. I grew up in Wellington, New Zealand, which is the capital city of New Zealand. And I grew up in a family in business. So I grew up with my parents in business, and my dad used to say to me, I used to work, I used to go to work and work with my dad from about 9 years old at school holidays and things like that. And my dad used to say to me, Karen, you can do whatever you want when you grow up. You can have your own business if you want to. And he taught me the most amazing things in business, things like, how to analyze. For some of you, you won't even know what this is because of technology changes, but how to analyze the till tape and how to do accounting with a double entry ledger book, like handwriting it all out, which is how they do accounting these days, but not manually anymore. It's still double entry. And, he taught me the most amazing things, but probably the gifts that he gave me was one, saying to me, you can do whatever you want. And the other one was actually teaching me that serving was so much fun. So he taught me how to give service, how to be of service to the clients and how much fun that is to be doing something where you feel like you're giving service and giving of yourself. And so I grew up with that kind of desire and expectation, and always expected that I would go into business. And I did, of course. And, one of the things I realized is that one of the major businesses I had, which was one of my first businesses, was in the automotive industry. And my husband and I started this business. And when we started it, I created this picture of what I wanted in my head. And we talked about it because he was an amazing automotive technician, and he specialized already in English sports and executive cars. He wasn't a big man, and he was very good at getting under the bonnet of little sports cars and working out what was wrong with them. And so together we decided that we would create this business that was going to be for English sports and executive cars. And so we created this picture, of course, in our head of what it was going to be like. And because I had had my upbringing with my dad, I never ever doubted that this business would be successful. And so I set about doing particular things, which I later learned was a proven system and what I coach people now. But what I wanted to tell you, one of the interesting things was that at Christmas last year, when I went back, last Christmas, when I went back to visit my family and friends in New Zealand, we went and saw the wife of one of our first clients. Wow. When we first started this business. And sadly, the husband has passed away, but his wife is still alive, and we became very good friends. They brought their vehicle to us for 25 years. And they were from the Netherlands, and they had only just arrived in New Zealand not long before we opened that business. And he was a classic car enthusiast. So he had purchased a Mark II Jaguar, and he found us somehow, and he came into the business, brought his vehicle in. And when we went and saw his wife, she excitedly often talks about the day that he came home, the day that he had found us, and how he came home and said to her, "Oh my gosh, I found this amazing business where they're going to look after my car, and you're not going to believe this, that the mechanic wears white overalls." And that was part of our vision, was to make this business like a boutique clinic where no one else who looks after people's cars did. And it was an immaculately white painted workshop with shiny grey floors, and as he said, the mechanics wore white overalls. And so that was so lovely. But I realized over the years, this is before I was a coach, that I instinctively used a lot of the tools and techniques that I now coach people to be successful in their businesses, or in fact in their lives. So that's a bit about me.
Beautiful. I love how you were taught at such a young age in terms of self-belief, but also having the right attitude to be able to produce your businesses, the results.
Yeah, and it's interesting though, because you're right, that was something that was a gift from my dad that I've taken through life. However, even so, I still went through, and growing up especially, through the phases of feeling not good enough, feeling not lovable enough, or not lovable, and had different parts of my lives where those normal human things that stop us feeling afraid to do something. In some ways, I probably had a bit less fear that stopped me than some people. However, I really noticed that I had a lot of that not being good enough stuff throughout my life, which is very, very common. It's one of the things that stops most of us. Actually, many people I coach, I find they've got that not good enough in the background somewhere that comes forward and stops them.
Yeah, I've come across that a lot when working with people myself as well. So, having that self-belief is definitely one thing, to be able to go out and do whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So being able to identify that and clear that out, I think, is definitely important for a lot of people. So can you tell me, can you explain the connection between wanting something and actually aiming to create it?
Yeah, it's really important to understand how the process and how it works. So let me say it like this. Many of us have a kind of, maybe sort of, if it works out, idea about something. And, I talk to many people about their vision, and often they'll say to me, yeah, I've got a vision. Yeah, definitely, I've done that. And I ask them to share it with me. And often people will then say, well, I want to be financially free, or I want to be successful, or I want to have a successful business, or. And, it's a bit like the people who have a bucket list. And, they say, well, one day I want to do something. And, if you don't follow a specific process, that one day never happens.
Absolutely.
And so there's a process around how we actually manifest. And we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And we don't notice what they are a lot of them, there's no way that we can be aware of what those 60 to 70,000 thoughts are. And what happens is we then have feelings and emotions as a result of those thoughts. And then we might not do something or do something because of our feelings and emotions, and we don't take action as a result, and that stops us from moving forward. And the action might be because of a fear emotion, or it might be because of a not good enough emotion. And we have to understand that we must be the gatekeeper to the portal of our mind, because everything starts with our thoughts. Everything. And I'll explain a bit about that in a minute. So there's a formula for success, and it goes like this. Our thoughts cause our feelings or emotions, which cause the actions that we take, which cause our results. So it's the actions that we take as a result of how we feel, which is a result of what we think. And it's about also deciding that we want something. Not just wanting it, but deciding that we're going to do it, And making that decision is one of the most powerful things we can do. And it's another thing we don't get taught at school, is how to make decisions. And once we say, I'm doing this, this is what I want, here it is, this is what I want, I'm very clear and specific. And then it's saying, I'm doing this, and applying energy and focus and commitment and time and taking action, that's when we start getting the results that we want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. And that completely resonates with me, because people think they can make decisions, but the decisions that they're thinking that they can make are actually inhibiting them from actually taking any action on those, because it's not clear in what they want. So absolutely. And a lot of people, I find that they sit on the fence when they're actually creating a vision, but really not taking any action. So I love how you described it as an equation, let's say, with one, there is no the other. So you need all three facets to be able to create what it is that you want. Right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Karen, tell me why is it so important to have clarity on your vision?
So it's really, really important. In fact, it's the most important thing. And the reason is, let's go back to this. Think about what is reality. So we've got the reality in the physical world, where we can smell, see, touch, all the physical attributes. And then I would say to you, okay, well, what is reality? Is there another world? And if I say to you, are you sitting on a chair, or are you watching this on a computer or a phone? Where was that chair, or where was that computer or phone before it came into this physical world? And where it was is in the quantum world. And so it's important to understand that as soon as you have a thought about something, or a possibility, or a vision, or a dream for something, it exists in the quantum world. And what happens is, when you apply energy to it through thoughts and focus on it and make a decision that you want that, you can bring it into the physical world, even your results, even your vision. And so if you're not clear on what it is you want, it can't be given to you, because our thoughts are actually measurable energetic vibration. And so is your vision. And we actually teach people to do a vision statement, which is an evolving energetic blueprint of where you want your life to be. And it's a real living document. And so if that's not clear, you see, people often just have too broad a statement, or too broad a vision, and it can't be delivered. Because if you say, I want enough money to survive, I want enough money, the universe doesn't know what enough is to you, because enough to you is different to what's enough for me, which is different to what's enough for him or her. So the most important thing to have clarity is specificity on detail, because you want it, but you haven't actually put it into, like, you'll have it there in your thinking. But if you don't bring it to your conscious thinking and use the techniques and tools to manifest, then you won't manifest it.
I love that. Yeah. There's a saying in NLP, in neurolinguistic programming, that we say, you say it how you want it, because that's how the unconscious mind takes it and processes it. And the unconscious mind is the goal setter, and the conscious mind is the goal getter. So you've got to say it how you want it, as specific as possible. Why is that people actually lack clarity around their vision?
That's an interesting question. I think because of years and decades and centuries of conditioning. See, when you're a little child, you imagine what you want. And we encourage little toddlers and young children to do that. You know, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they come up with these amazing things. Some little children say, I want to be an astronaut and go to the moon. Right? But then there becomes a point in our life where we stop doing that with. And by the way, imagination is one of our mental faculties. It's a gift. It's a gift that helps us to use all these tools and techniques that we're talking about. But there's a point in our life where everyone around us stops encouraging us to use that mental faculty and says things like, you've got to be realistic, right? You've got to do this, not that. Don't dream. And so what happens is we get the ability to use these God-given or divine-given tools and techniques, or universal-given tools and techniques, whatever you believe. We get them actually drummed out of us. And so we don't understand how to work with the vision and work with the universe and work with the quantum field and all of these things that are there now.
How does actually one person work with the quantum field?
So first of all, it's important to understand what it is.
Okay.
What is a quantum leap, or what is the quantum physics? Can I just read you a little piece?
Yep, go ahead.
Out of one of my favorite Bibles, which is called 𝑈² by Price Pritchett. A quantum leap is a term taken from the vocabulary of new physics, quantum physics, the science behind such technological breakthroughs as lasers, televisions, computers, space communication, and nuclear energy. Quantum physics is described as the most powerful science conceived by human beings. It requires a major rethinking of such concepts as time and space and how human consciousness happens. Quantum physics also has staggering implications regarding you, your potential, and the power of your mind. So, what was your question again?
What is the quantum field?
So, it's like I said to you, imagine that everything exists in this like universe before it comes into our physical world. And they know that our thoughts, for example, are already out there in this quantum world. So you imagine that, let me explain it like this. Our thoughts are a measurable vibrational energy. All of our thoughts are. This is proven quantum physics. And so we are operating with our thoughts, and we are in a particular vibrational energy depending on our thoughts. And so if we are, for example, if someone is very depressed, they will wake up and they will have thoughts that are putting them out there at a particular vibrational energy in the quantum universe, in the quantum field. if you have a vision of something you would dream for, you would love, it would be your dream life, it actually vibrates at a different energetic vibration than those depressed thoughts, those thoughts about what we don't want, those thoughts of challenge or fear or, you know, not being good enough or uselessness or all of that. They're completely different vibrational energies. And so, like I said to you, once a vision has been, an idea, a possibility of your beautiful dream life has been created in your thoughts, it exists in the quantum field, and that infinite part of the universe. That's what the quantum field is. It's the infinite part of the universe. It's not the physical part, but it actually exists. And so it's like but you can't bring it into you what you want. You can't bring to you can't manifest until you're in synchronicity with that energetic vibration. You have to be thinking at that level of vibration as much as you possibly can for those people, those circumstances, those opportunities to show up into your world, because that's what happens when you start being in synchronicity with it. And so it's like, that's why I said, let me give you an analogy. It's like saying, if you're watching television and you're watching, say, the news on this Channel 7 news, you know that a television or a radio tunes into a particular frequency of waves. That's how you receive your television picture, right? And so if you're tuned into the news on Channel 7, you cannot pick up the Discovery Channel. There's no way until you change the dial and change the tune to a different vibration. And it's exactly the same with us and our thinking. So it's a process of understanding that and understanding how to change your vibrational energy of your thoughts, change your thoughts to a different vibrational energy. And there are many ways that you can do that. And one of them is by creating your vision of your dream life, what you would love to be doing if you didn't think it was impossible.
So do you think people fall short in creating the results that they want is because they don't know how to tune those dials, or is it something else?
Yes, it is that, and some other things too. The other thing that's really important that I want to talk about is people knowing their why, people knowing their purpose. Because, you know, we're all here on this earth in this particular time with these people around us in this place. We're not here by mistake. We're all here to do something, to do a job, to do something that is our purpose specifically, that's really important to us. And many people don't know what that is, and they don't know how to hook into that and find out. So that's one reason why people fall short of creating the results they want, because if you know what your why is, you know what your purpose is, you know that this is why I do what I do every day, and I love it because I know I'm working on that, then it changes the way that you think. It changes the way that you feel when you get up in the morning. If you know that you're working on your why, the most important thing to you, then you feel motivated and you just can't wait to get on with your day. So that's one reason. And the other reason why people fall short is because of doubt and fear that stops us. Their feelings of being not enough and not owning it deep down, not owning what they know that they can do, what they are here, what they've learned to do, what they're good at. A lot of us don't own it, even though we're doing it and we're good at it, you know. And also not making that decision, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, when it still seems to be a little bit way away. It's part of our dream, part of our vision, and we haven't got there. And there's a difference between saying, this is definitely what I want, and I'm doing it, you know, this is what it looks like day by day while I'm achieving that, while I'm getting there. It's a human phenomenon. There are two parts of us, and those two parts are always in conflict. There's a part of us that wants to grow and become the person that we have the potential to be, and to truly live our purpose. the purpose that's always trying to emerge through us. That's one part of us that encourages us to take steps, you know, take on the challenge, do something different, feel like we're growing. And then there's the other part, the limbic brain, that's there, and its job is simply and only to keep us safe. It's a part of us that is there to make sure that we're breathing and that our heart's beating and that we're surviving. And that part is the part that brings up the doubt and the negative thoughts when we are stepping out. And and the more we step out and the closer we get to our full potential, the louder that part gets to stop us. And the interesting thing is that remember, it's there to keep us in survival. That's it. So anything else seems to be a challenge it seems to be a danger to that part of us. And so, but it doesn't say I'm here to kill your dream, or I'm here to stop your happiness and it's our internal dialogue, what we hear. It doesn't say that. It says, it tricks us into thinking. It's here to keep us safe. It's to stop us from taking dangerous risks. It's to stop us from embarrassing ourselves. All those kind of thoughts come up and we think they're true. And so people, you know, listen to that, and it's very hard to tell the difference between that and our real intuition, because of course our intuition is another one of our gifts, another one of our mental faculties that is given to us at birth, and that all the most successful people use to be successful. And they don't teach that at normal mainstream education either. So it's very hard to tell the difference, and you have to actually build the muscle to understand what is my intuition telling me versus what is that negative dialogue that's actually there to stop me from being my full potential. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was really, really great. So if that's the case, so how does one, say, train that self-talk that's there to survive but not to crush the dreams?
So we don't train that. We'll never train that. That is always going to be there. Yep. It's about knowing that it's there and what it's there to do, and recognizing when it's talking. And so we have one of our key coaching tools is what we say, notice what you notice.
Beautiful.
And that means notice your thinking. And as I said to you before, we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of them we're unaware of. So it's about going, okay, well, what am I thinking now? What am I thinking now? As often as you possibly can to hook in to see those thoughts. And then once you've got your clear vision and your detailed specific thing of what you would love, then you can actually go, no, that is not serving me. That is a thought from that part of me. And you can actually, the more you do it, the better you get at it. You grow your muscle to distinguish between that and that's just not there to serve you. Those thoughts are not there to serve your vision, and sending them away and replacing them with thoughts that do serve your vision, because you'll never stop it. It's a human phenomenon. You can't stop it. Everyone has it. But the people who overcome it are the people who know how to work the system.
Beautiful. Yeah. So is it all about having that conscious awareness that it's there, but not allowing it to actually take charge?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. So can you tell me, what are some tools and techniques to get clear on someone's vision if they're wanting to get clear on it, let's say?
Definitely. So there's 4 domains or areas in our life that we create our results. And remember, you're going to manifest anyway. We are born manifestors. You can't stop yourself from manifesting. It's part of being human. So we're going to manifest our results in the 4 domains of our life, which are our health and well-being, our business, career or vocation, our relationships and loved ones, and our time and money freedom. Those are the 4 areas that we create our results in. we have a fifth area, which is our spirituality, and that's intermingled between them all. What we do is we say, in order to get in touch with what it is that you would love and what your vision would be, there are 3 questions that you ask of each of those domains in your life. What do I want more of? Or what do I long for in that area? Is the first question. What do I want less of? Or what do I have a discontent around in that area? Is the second question. And it's really great to just sit there and think about it. And what is it? What is it that I want more of? And what else? And what else? And what is it that I don't like? And then the third question is to keep asking yourself, what would I love? If I could have anything without bringing in, I don't know how, without bringing in the limitations that I perceive I have, just if I waved a magic wand for you and said, I'm giving you everything you need to have the life that you would love. You don't need to go anywhere else. This is it. Here it is. Here's my gift to you. What would you be saying that life would be like? What would you absolutely love? And when we ask those questions of people, things come up, they get a download, things come up for them that maybe were sat way, way back there and they were too afraid to let that come to the forefront in their dreams or in their consciousness. But it's there. And so when we say to people, what we tend to do is we bring our vision down because we think that, one, we have to know how we're going to achieve it, or we think that we have to have all of the tick boxes ticked to be able to go for that. And that's not how it works. Because once you are really, really clear on what it is that you would want, even if you thought it was impossible, but you're really, really clear and you make the decision and the commitment, the how shows up. You get brought circumstances and people and answers and all sorts of things like magic.
Yeah, beautiful. And I think, the key is in the questioning and listening to the answers and not the chatter that comes up first, do you think?
Absolutely. I had a situation in my life before I was a coach as well where I used the techniques, but you're so right. It is asking the right question. So once you want something, then you say, how can I achieve this? How can I get this? Who do I want to speak? Who will help me with this? So you ask the right questions, and also it's about asking a big enough question. So it's not like, how am I going to get enough money to pay the bills this month? The better question is, or the right question is, how am I going to create another $10,000 this month? Do you see how the questions have a very different energy?
Absolutely. It's much more specific in what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Could you give, what kind of resources can you actually provide for the listeners to maybe assist them right now with some of, tools and techniques?
Yeah, I have a resource. It's a very beautiful document. It's called Charting Your Course. And it works through a combination of these things that we've talked about to get clarity on it. The questions of what would I like more of, or what would I like less of, and then also some goals. So it's a really great document that is very, very helpful to make some progress in your clarity around your vision. At the bottom, there is actually a link on it that people, if they want to know more, I'm really happy. If someone's interested in the work that I do and they want to know more and get clarity on their vision statement, this energetic blueprint, I put a link in for an offer of a strategy session where I will do that for you as a gift. It'll be a 45-minute to an hour long session, and you'll get real clarity around your vision with me asking you the questions and working through it. And people love this.
Fantastic. And how can people connect with you, Karen?
There's some links. I think you're going to put up some links, or there are some links on a document I have provided.
Yep.
So my website is there, my Facebook page, my Quantum Leap page, and I'm not sure if I gave people access to the 5-day challenge, did I?
Are you providing a link for that?
I think, yeah. So what I was going to do was, I have a group, and it's called 5-day Quantum Leap, experiment. And once a month, I provide a 5-day experiment for people to work through and have a quantum leap. And so if anyone wants to join that group, I'm pretty sure there's a link there. If not, I can provide it with anyone who wants it. And they can join that group, and then I'll let you know when the next 5-day quantum leap experiment is about to start. It's going to start, or I'll put the date up for it in advance, and people can decide and come on it.
Thank you so much, Karen. It's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast today.
Thanks, Maria. It's been my pleasure and privilege to be on it with you. Thank you for inviting me.
No worries. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. My name's Maria from The Conscious CEO. Remember to be bold, be brave, and have fun. Bye for now.